And it's been more than 2 months now since anti-government, youth-led protests rocked Kenya, leaving dozens of people dead. The protests began because of unpopular tax rises, but after they were withdrawn by President William Ruto, they expanded to include other demands. The demos have since tapered off, but some citizens are stepping up the pressure through various initiatives to keep the government accountable, from doing civic education to inspecting projects on the ground. But will this renewed interest by youth in politics translate to real change? Well, the BBC's Peter Mwangangi has been finding out.
Conflict in the Kenyan capital. Anti-government protests made global news headlines. Under intense scrutiny, the Kenyan government was forced to make a U-turn. But after the riots, is scrutiny of those holding power continuing?
Justice isn't just a word, it is a just word.
For Willie Oeba, a spoken word artist, protest has been through art.
Now that's the plain truth.
He has been delivering punchlines in unusual places, like here on a plane.
The first, second, third to the ninth month.
And on minibuses, popularly known as matatus, used for public transport. When the audience responds warmly, it's more than appreciating a moment of entertainment. For Willie, it's about sparking a conversation about change.
I wanted to take art and take civic education to the people. And you realize most of these concerts we charge up to 2,000, 1,000 bob. And the people we want this message to get to sometimes cannot afford to pay for these events. So the idea is to take the conversation to people where it matters most. So we go to the most unconventional of places.
Following 4 weeks of Gen Z protests in June, President William Ruto withdrew a controversial tax bill and dismissed his entire cabinet. Facing intense pressure at the time, the president said legitimate protests against his policies had been hijacked by a group of organized criminals. Demonstrations later occurred in other African countries, including Nigeria, perhaps inspired by what had happened in Kenya. The Kenyan government has asked for patience and more time to implement reforms, while the protesters say they will be back on the streets if need be.
This time, I'm on Katua.
But for citizens like lawyer Morara Kebaso, the time for change is now.
I want to tell you something about this road.
He has been touring the country, inspecting the implementation of government projects, and his video clips have gone viral on social media, adding to pressure on the government.
This road was allocated 362 million Kenyan shillings. Already the contractor has been paid 255 million. I want to show you the condition of the road so that you make a judgment for yourself whether this road is worth 255 million.
The government says it welcomes scrutiny by its citizens, but the state implores individuals to be factual when presenting commentary.
What we'll try also like to encourage them is also to be well informed so that they don't use such platforms to spread propaganda and misinformation regarding those programs. It does not mean that those programs stalled or the money was misused. The other challenges, other issues that sometimes cause some of those programs not to take off, to continue.
Political commentators say that accountability is not a one-day affair and that there is need for more citizens to put pressure on the government to ensure that it delivers its promises to the people.
Justice is never served.
For Willie Oeba, the struggle continues. He wants to ensure that citizens make informed choices. But will the appetite for change continue to burn strongly inside Kenya itself?
Life ain't easy, that's the hard truth.
Peter Mwangangi, BBC News, Nairobi.
Inchi mashefa hawezi afford ile food wanacook.